Hi, this is John. Today, I'm going to let you in on a big secret, and this is the single most important thing you can do to increase your business today. And if you stay on until the end, I have a reward for you as a thank you from me. So Jan, what is that single most important thing? That's the big question today. It's called website optimization. Now, it's not what you think here. You have been taught, you've learned that you have to optimize your website, but in fact, often what happens here, a web designer or developer, they start the process, but they typically don't finish, and the reason why, it's really never done. And that's part of the problem, but it's not all of the problem. See, you need a special framework, a systematic approach to improve your business, and especially when it comes to the online game, right? So, in a few minutes, you will know what it is. But first, let's talk about why we would want to optimize our online presence, right? Let's think about this for a minute. In the Google world, billions of pages are searched each month, right? Well, 1 in 5 searches are local. They have intent that is local. They are actually searching for something in your environment. And Google made changes to their core algorithm over 500 times last year. That means at least one change every day or more, right? Pretty massive. And how do you stay on top of all those changes, right? And you may not have thought about this, but users, when they search in a navigational manner, an informational manner, or a transactional one. And the navigational is simply where they go to Twitter, Facebook, brand names, eBay, Microsoft, whatever. And they just go straight to it. It could be a bookmark in the browser or literally just typing it straight into the address bar, right? Informational, the how-tos of the world. This is huge. A lot of searches in this category. Transactional, e-commerce based, simply money changing hands fast through a commerce funnel-based page system, right? Well, in all of these cases, they're looking for you. They're looking for your product, they're looking for your service, your brand, or your unique expertness, right? So the question is your website or page found in search, right? And often when I ask this, the answer is no, and then I ask, why not? Well, today I'm going to share some cool things with you. I have a process here to fix this. So let's get started with some of this. Step 1. You need to install analytics. And if you don't know what analytics is, it's simply a way to track activity and user behavior on your website. And we talk about web analytics in this regard. And often you can install this by using free tools like Google Analytics. There's other paid tools and other services out there. Google Analytics is a great way to start. You simply go to google.com/analytics, right? You install a simple script on there. Either you or your webmaster can do that, and you are actually off in the running. At least now you'll be able to feel the pulse of your website. And most people, amazingly enough, do not have this. Step 2. You want to track that data. And so essentially now you're on the way to not only tracking, but capturing all movement on your website. Everything that's happening underneath, it's literally your heartbeat now. You are able to watch this, run reports, customize reports, segmentation, anything you want to pull your data. Step number 3, very important, this one here. With all this data that's coming at you, you need to build a traffic map. You need to figure essentially out where the traffic is coming from, what's driving it, and what particular pages. We're going to break this down further, but essentially it's a nice looking map that allows you to see what's working and what's not. Now, in the what's not category is step 4, where you now have the ability to discover bottlenecks, right? So whether you have a 50-page site, a 500, or a 500,000 page site, you'll be able to actually drill down and find out where is the funnel in a commerce-driven site not working, where is specific content pages in a publishing model not working, or where is pages not working at all in the sense that people are trying to fill out forms, etc. Now these are just some of the types, right? There's many different strategies and different models that go into this, but you get the idea, right? So in your website right now, do you know what those bottlenecks are? Well, if you do, it's time to actually start looking at eliminating pages. And this is a 2-step process. One is eliminating pages simply because in the recent updates, I mentioned all the updates from Google, there's something called the Penguin update, which is simply a way for Google to look at your pages and look at websites out there that don't fall into a certain criteria of quality, right? So you may have pages that are actually deteriorating your overall health in your website by having too many garbage pages that provide no value. Well, you can eliminate those by doing what's called a redirection, or perhaps a complete exclusion. There's a combination there that needs to be looked at. But also this elimination pages, if you remember, I said there's a couple of stages, also includes changing the way that a page behaves. So you might actually have a page that's somewhat working for you, but you need to enhance it by either adding more keywords, changing the format, the structure, the layout. For form pages, you may be capturing too much information, so you need to actually restructure your page, and it falls into the elimination category. Step number 6, you need to now optimize specific pages. So thinking about, that elimination process, the pages that are working, that are not working, what are the pages that are working for you? Pages that actually drive traffic, pages that actually retain visitors through a specific period of time, and pages that drive to other interior pages that act as sort of landing pages to your inner circle, if you will, right? And of course, pages that simply convert well for you on the outset. So you want to look at that, right? Now, we've called out some specific steps here, but all this really leads to this, and that is traffic. Traffic is your lifeblood, and it's back to the "are you found" thing that I asked earlier. You need to be simply found, and so it's the quality that you need to be focused on. So let's find out how, now that we've covered a little bit on the why, right? You need to collect the website statistics. That's just an overall measure for your entire website, so you can get the top level heartbeat and the interior bloodstream, if you will, to follow that analogy. And you are probably already thinking this, but the 80-20 rule, it works so well, life, business, anything you could consider. What are the most popular pages, right? And the 80-20 rule, you'll see it in your analytics because it's going to work for you in this manner. 20% of the pages will be driving 80% of your traffic. And so you can just imagine what you can do here to optimize and enhance your existing infrastructure as well as your pages. And we're talking about website optimization here today. We're going to break this down a little further before we also describe some other optimization techniques that you can employ. So the question to ask then is, what drives the most traffic, and how do they get to your site, or more importantly, to your pages, right? So that's the 80-20. You want to actually find this out. And when you do this, you can look at the data that you've been collecting. Now, if you just started this yesterday, you don't have enough data to collect. But if you've been doing this for a while, you can now look at 30, 60, 80, 90, 120 day spans, 6 months. If you have yearly data now, you can actually do a compare prior years, prior quarters. Very compelling data sets to be run here that will reveal amazing data to actually find this out for you, right? So the top pages is always going to be a focus for you because frankly it's like your front store, right? This is the door and the entryway. This is where people are led down. This is where you welcome them, and you're mapping essentially the funnel. So the top pages need to be broken down, and then you need to look at what are the secondary pages. I wonder what those are, right? Well, if you're in a commerce-driven situation, there's going to be several steps through the shopping cart that needs to be mapped out. But there are top drivers that get them there, right? So we need to run the calculator, the good old calculator, which might be just literally on your desktop or in Excel. But what are the non-revenue pages? So things that do not really drive traffic, but they don't necessarily create revenue for you. And what do those funnels look like? That's one aspect of the optimization technique, because here you can use other leverage opportunities to funnel traffic throughout your website. And then flip side to this is, what are the revenue generating, actually doing well for you, and what do those funnels look like? And there's many metrics to discover within these two scenarios, but one of the things you need to do is essentially run a traffic analysis report. And these can be done inside analytics packages. And Google Analytics does a good job with this too, looking at many metrics, but here are just some. The page visitors, of course, the uniques, the bounce rates, which simply is a way for Google to determine how fast somebody leaves your website. And how fast they leave the website, you may think that that's less important in the Google scheme of things. Well, that's a metric as part of their algorithm as well now. And then within this, you can actually segment it out so that you can see how the pages are visited as they go down the funnel. What specific pages are bouncing more or less than others? What are the conversion rates at the end, right? What are some of the exit rates per page as you move through that funnel? And of course, overall click-throughs are going to be important to be measuring. Now, I'm going to give you a couple of optimization tips as we've looked at a lot of data here. And again, I am intending to sort of give you a lot of information in this session because I want you to understand that while there are simple steps to get to some of the data, it's not always easy, right? But here are some tips for you. First of all, we talked a little bit about this, but remove low-performing pages. Low-performing pages are, as I mentioned, pages that are simply not driving any traffic for you. You don't need those anymore. It's garbage. In fact, it'll just drag your site down. Low-performing pages can also be pages that are not converting for you, that need to be re-optimized and repositioned and perhaps put into another series of steps through your funnel so they don't actually wreak havoc in your current scenario, right? So the 80-20 rule works really well there, and you don't want to try to optimize everything, right? So the optimization of everything is a very bad practice. You want to follow that 80-20 rule. You want to actually look at the analytics, confirm that this is exactly what this should be, and focus on those specific pages, right? So that's what you need to do. Identify those bottlenecks. It's absolutely critical. And ask this question: does every page have a call to action? I see this all the time. People are simply not acting on their pages. There could be valuable pages in your system right now that doesn't have a call to action, and that could be through your publishing model system, through a blog, through a commerce system, all the different website types that exist. But simply, you need to have a way for the user to engage with that particular page. Every page actually is an asset. Often what I see is people have websites and they hide the contact form in the footer, or they move it over to the right side in the upper right hand, contact us, and expect that to work. You need to have what we call a lead magnet, something that is a human grabber, something that creates an emotional trigger that actually helps the people, right? That helps the visitors essentially. So if your information is valuable and useful, they're going to engage with it. And it could be a simple download of a white paper or a special report you have, or again, running through the funnel inside your e-commerce system. So you need to have this. And do you, right? So does a typical visitor understand your page in less than 5 seconds? They got to understand what the page is about, what you're trying to communicate, what essentially their benefit will be. And often the way to do that is to have a strong headline, right? A strong headline that displays the goal of that page essentially not only draws them in, but it tells them very quickly, aha, I got it. I know what this is about. In a great way, and you've seen this a lot, obviously, but a blog can do amazing things for you in terms of positioning not only content, which is so valuable to have these days, especially in search engines, right? But also having a strong headline that elicits some kind of a call to action and have a follow-up on that page. And is the purpose of the page displayed above the fold? I can't say this enough, right? So you get to the page, it loads fast, everything seems fine. You're looking around and you're frankly confused. Well, they're going to be out of here because you didn't position the content well enough on the page above the fold. And that means the scrollable portion of the website, or before you scroll rather. So it's what you see at the very top of the website. You can almost imagine this, and the term comes from the newspaper industry. A newspaper is folded. You look at the front page, you can start to read and engage with it, and you can choose to open up the newspaper full page if you do. In the online world is about the scrolling factor, right? So get that done right. Now, is your page design easy to follow? not cluttered. It kind of speaks to what I just said here. Easy to read, easy to engage with, clear cut. There's no confusion. This also matters for the search engine, especially Google, because this indicates user experience, which is a big deal. And of course, here, especially in the B2B community, it's very often sort of common, that is, to collect all kinds of data. Give me your name, address, city, state, zip, phone number, fax, social security number, where you live, all of the above, right? That may be appropriate for a later stage in the communication with your visitor, but it's not necessarily something you do day one or page one, right? You may simply start with a name and email. But again, every scenario warrants a different outcome here, or different approach for a different outcome. So this is generic, but think about it. Right now, you may have a complete stoppage in your system because you're asking for too much information. This could actually be asked for in a sort of wizard-driven approach. And testimonials are always big, social proof, etc. Are you using them right now? Are you positioning yourself as a trusted authority, leading website, and expert? And are you using third-party trust seals? This may seem a little over the top, but in fact, these things matter both to users, to search engines, and it creates, again, that total trust and authority from all these things that you now are doing, right? Page length, that's the copy on the page. Is that appropriate? And this is one of those things, I get the questions a lot. How much content should I write? Should this be half a page? How many words? What I come back with here is, how long is a piece of string? You need to take a look at it for your market, see what's common there, take a look at your competition, and actually also be testing this, right? But if somebody is really engaging with your page, long content can actually work very well. But there's different styles of content here, and so we need to look at that, and we're going to cover that another time. Now, this is a metric that's being used both for users but also for search engines. How fast are you loading, right? How fast is your page loading? And less than 4 to 5 seconds. Think about Google themselves and how fast that system's running. Well, it's seconds, right? It's super fast. Now, if you have a good hosting system, that is not a problem to get these days. If you have a website that has cluttered code and too many images and bloated code, as we call it, that's not good. This could be optimized, but this is going to be one of those user and search engine experiences you can do. So website optimization, which we've covered now, is both an art and a science, as is SEO. Remember, I talked about other optimization techniques. SEO, search engine optimization. This is something that's very familiar to me, but really I talk a lot about website optimization because it makes no sense to have more traffic if you can't actually do that. So successful SEO here now, as we're branching out a little bit, combines the proper use of keywords, contents, links, design, and user experience, and what's very important here, all of this in success for SEO and website optimization is going to be targeted traffic. And targeted traffic is not just traffic, right? It's actually customers that will pull out their wallet, that will engage with your phone and actually call you up, right? And also return visitors, that you have engaging content that people want to come back. So building trust, authority, and I put here some likes. You know about the no like and trust factors, right? But it's true for search engines. And the likes really indicates the social media or the social platforms that exist out there. They are signals to the search engines as well, but typically it has a different engagement model than the search engines. And people who are talking about you and engaging with you in social media may have a much longer sales cycle and a much different model in terms of how you push it out there than what you do to optimize websites, right? So you need to keep that in mind. Now, I want to thank you for your time today. We're coming up on almost the 20-minute mark. I really enjoyed putting this video together for you. I hope you liked it as well, and that you see that there's a number of items you could probably go and address right now. You don't need anybody else's help. Just take those action items, those 6 steps that I showed you. Go through this video again if you'd like and share it with your webmaster. I would enjoy to hear how you do with all that, but either way, I hope this helped you. And I just want to close out here with just one more thing, and it's essentially this. If you enter your name and email here, I will actually send you another video where I break down a little bit more on my what I call the traffic wheel. it's essentially kind of a model to look at traffic opportunities that can generate really not only targeted traffic, as I said, but customers. And I really want to just get this under your belt so that you can understand and engage with some of these things, and know that while there are many what we call scammers and hype on the internet, there are really some trusted basic techniques that work really well. And if you engage with those, you can actually get started right now, this week, right? And if you're struggling with this, I'll be happy to take your questions as well. You can send me an email through there, but the idea is I just want to get you educated and up to speed on this. I really hope you have enjoyed this as much as I have. I'm going to stop it here and enter your name and email right now. And as you can see here, strict no spam policy. You will not be spammed. This is purely informational, and I hope you enjoyed it and have a great day, evening, or night. Yawn out.